Hey, I'm Kurai. Like some Viktor content, some mid-lane content? Consider subscribing, maybe even hitting that like button. It'll help me up a lot, and if you do, you'll get blue buff. Viktor Challenger. The only rule, I can only play Viktor, unless it's banned, then we're playing QIYANA. No Viktor jungle, no Viktor support, maybe Viktor Bali, and that's about it. Hello friends, welcome back to another Viktor 2 Challenger series gameplay. In this video, I think I'm going to run through a couple of matchups, one of them being QIYANA and the other one being VLADIMIR, and it will be mainly focused on, well, the laning phase, and less much so on things outside of the laning phase. If you're looking to improve your laning phase or just your laning performance, this video might help you. The reason why I want to focus more on laning phase for maybe a couple of videos is because I feel like laning phase plays a lot more than you guys might think. So, stick around, see what you can learn here, and let me know in the comments if you can pick up anything. So without further ado, the first game for today, or at least for this video, is going to be against QIYANA. I think the QIYANA matchup with Viktor is not too bad. You'll notice that I took exhaust for this matchup, mainly because QIYANA's damage is very scripted. You can kind of see it coming. If she E's onto you, she's mostly going to unleash her full combo. Otherwise, you can just use it just to slow her down, or maybe even pick up a kill sometimes if she's over aggressive. For my runes, instead of first strike, I opted for the Ares setup with Scorch and Biscuits as well. The reason why I'm running this setup is because I want to have a bit more lane presence and also allow me to have the opportunity to punish QIYANA if she overextends. I think if you're not too familiar with this matchup, I think going for first strike is not too bad. Alternatively, I think taking bone plating in this matchup is also pretty good. You can see before the lane starts, I've already put down a ward on one side of the river to prevent Sejuani from level 3 ganking me. Here, I'm hitting the minions because when QIYANA comes to lane, both our minions will die at different times. You can see here, one of my minions are dying while none of her minions are dying, which allows me to harass her without losing any minions. And as I say that, I lose one. But the point is, I want to mistime our minions' deaths. The other reason is because I don't really want QIYANA to have a opportunity to push in. That's because QIYANA is an assassin, and the way how her champion works is that she snowballs by finding kills. If I let her push, she might just roam into my jungle along with her jungle, and then just kill my jungler and snowball from there onwards. While this helps protect my jungler, the downside of this is that sometimes if I mess it up, or if the wave is pushing too fast, I might be very volatile to the enemy jungler's gank. But I believe in this game, I actually managed to push it right at the perfect speed. You can see the minions aren't really fully crashed in. The next wave is already coming. And I'm probably looking to crash this wave with my auto attacks. I'm mainly using my abilities to harass her, but realistically I should just be looking to hard shove and completely shove this into turret so that I can have it bounce back and freeze later on. Right here, I don't know where Sejuani is yet, but after seeing her where she is, I'm not afraid to walk up into my minions as QIYANA is trading with me. I'm trading back with my minions. You can see that a lot of QIYANA's health is getting chunked by my abilities, attacks, and also my minions' auto attacks, which allows me to hard win this trade. This is only doable because I knew where Sejuani was. If I didn't know where Sejuani is, I probably would have just backed up anyways. Remember, the main point of that trade is the fact that if you have a big minion wave and you know where the enemy jungler is, don't be afraid to trade in your minions. They help you win trades a lot. So next up, you can see that QIYANA is low, but my minion wave is very thin. That's why I'm not really pushing up. I know that Sejuani is top side, hence why I'm actually trying to hug around bot side. And as she comes from top side, I believe she actually tries to help QIYANA push in this wave. I made a really greedy play, or I wanted to make a greedy play by going back to my turret from that angle. But honestly, had I just gone the long and safe way instead, I probably would have reached my lane back in time and able to hold this freeze and deny QIYANA the safe recall which she needs. Honestly, looking back, I might have been able to make that play since I had pots and also I had gravity field. But honestly, again, if I just made a quick decision to make a safer play immediately, I would have always been able to hold that freeze and really screw QIYANA up. Regardless, it's the cannon wave, and I know Sejuani probably headed bot side, and hence why I put a ward around bot side. That ward helps me to know if she's coming in from a gank around Raptors. You can see I'm not actually pushing in the cannon wave even though I knew QIYANA is base. And this is mainly because I can't push the cannon wave fast enough with the amount of mana I have, even though I have biscuits. And mainly because like Viktor has a hard time pushing in cannon waves early on anyways. You can see here I'm just trying to slowly play the lane again. I have 2 biscuits, which helps me get back my mana. Oh, fun fact here, the way biscuits works is that they get back missing mana. So you want to use it when you literally can't cast any more spells. A lot of people use it when they get the biscuits, which is a waste. You can see here, biscuits is really helping me a lot. I'm pretending I don't have enough mana, but I walk up, I eat a biscuit, which gives me mana. QIYANA goes in to try to kill me, but I have exhaust. And my spells are coming up just in time. Biscuits here. I ate 2 biscuits. Those 2 biscuits basically allowed me to get the kill. And this is why I run this setup. Here, I made a really big mistake. I thought the wave was fast enough for me to actually crash it. But I wasn't looking at the upcoming wave. I didn't realize it was a cannon wave. I realistically should have just based and actually came back. If I did, the minion wave would probably just be in neutral, if not actually be holding a freeze right in front of my turret. But because I didn't actually base here, you can see it actually hurts me a lot. Here I actually managed to push it in, but I believe QIYANA actually manages to hold a freeze here, which really screws me out, and I'll explain why later on. And you can see that QIYANA is just trying to pull the wave, trying to make a freeze in front of the turret. Because I burned my flash, it's actually really easy now for QIYANA to kill me. QIYANA still has flash. QIYANA has Sejuani for the combo, for the stun. So right now, I'm in a really bad spot. Had I just based earlier, I would have been just fine. But because I wasn't looking at my wave, the wave becomes really bad now. And even though I got a kill, it really doesn't mean a lot. The fact that I'm probably gonna die in a couple of minutes later on in the lane. You can see here, she's trying really hard to hold the freeze. There's really not a lot I can do. I can't really walk up to her because she has level 6 and ignite. She can still pop me because I didn't go for Seeker's Arm Guard. I didn't go for armor basically. I went Lost Chapter instead. All I can do here is really just E from afar. But even then, it's just really bad because again, she has flash, and now you can see shortly she actually tries to she actually does her whole combo here. Sejuani's not really needed here at all. I'm really just dead here. Like even if Sejuani didn't out, I would have just died immediately. Like you could say that, oh wow, Sejuani ganked you, that's not really my fault, but realistically, QIYANA would have just been able to solo me with her ult and ignite, and her cooldowns would be coming back up. The fact that I don't have flash means that I also can't escape from her as well, because she has so much dashes, even though it's still so early in the game. So that's already like 2 mistakes I've made early on in the laning phase. So far what we covered is basically understanding why we pick these runes. The reason why we pick these runes is so we can get a kill, but at the same time, getting a kill doesn't mean that you instantly win the game alone. You can see that even though I got a kill here, because I didn't properly manage my wave, I actually gave back the kill. So right now, QIYANA is actually back in the lead. You can see QIYANA already has 2 items, or rather 2 components, and I'm only at 1 component, even though I have 2 starting items. This is actually, again, really bad for me. The game will only go worse. The wave is pushing back to me right now. However, like I said, because I've lost control of the lane, I can't even walk up. I don't have any pressure at all. My runes are basically useless right now. That's also another reason why, I think if you're not familiar with this matchup, as I think the setup that I took for this matchup is very volatile. If you're not familiar with this matchup, just go for first strike and just try to get first strike value as much as you can, rather than doing what I'm trying to do here. In a perfect world, what should have happened is that after that wave that I've killed her, I should have based, and I should have just came back to lane and slowly played the lane out, and everything would have been okay. Even though if the lane was slow pushing, I would have been able to crash a big wave, which does not allow QIYANA to hold a freeze. But because that didn't happen, I died, I got punished, and now again, I don't really have control of the lane. The best thing I can do here is really just try to clear the wave and try to quote-unquote ignore QIYANA. But QIYANA is one of those champions which really has an easy time diving mages that have, or any champion that is squishy and really don't have any abilities to dash or crowd control. And Viktor is unfortunately one of those champions. You can see that my team is actually not doing so well. It's 3-9 here. My sun lanes are actually doing so well. My bot lane, or my ADC Zeri, isn't actually an AD main. So I understand that she's not doing so well at all, especially against a Draven Thresh. It's a really hard matchup.
Sometimes you just have to come to accept the fact that like some games are just really hard. You can't really flame them because one, they're autofill, and you just have to understand the fact that like, okay, it's a hard matchup. There's not much you can do, and the only thing you can do is do your best and focus on the mistakes you're making. Which for my part, I'm just playing really bad here. Here, I'm just staying out of Fog War. I'm waiting for QIYANA to use her abilities, to use her cooldowns. I know that she just used her Q and her W, which means she doesn't have W here. And then she basically just gives up because she sees Karma speeding me up to get the kill here. It's nice and all, but again, the real part is that I'm basically down quite a amount of CS. The kill is nice, but being like around 74 CS at 10 minutes puts me in a really bad spot. I should have at least 85, if not like 90 CS. Like 90 would be fine here still. But again, because I screwed up earlier, I had to forfeit a lot of CS. I had to give a kill away. And now you could say like, even though I got 2 kills, I'm basically even, really. Because of how items work on assassins, they provide more value in the early game compared to mine, which provides more value in the late game. That's also the other reason why I'm taking Scorch instead of Gathering Storm. Against like very volatile matchup, it's really hard to go into the late game past 20 minutes to get the full value of Gathering Storm. Sometimes having Scorch early really helps you get early kills here. Otherwise, I'm not sure what QIYANA is up here to do. I'm not sure what Sejuani is here to do. Sejuani is actually landing the ults pretty well, suspiciously. But I doubt she's actually doing anything here. She actually landed her ult later on, which I remember was pretty good. Maybe she's just really good. I'm pretty sure she's just landing really good ults here. But at this point, the game actually didn't go so well. I'll save you the details. You can see here, QIYANA, Zeri's just not having a great time. Silings are just not doing so well. My top is not doing so well. My jungler is also not doing so well. Realistically, the only lane that's going well is my lane. But as a Viktor, you're not really a champion until like 20 minutes, and even then you're still kind of weak, right? So the game kind of ended around like 20 minutes where I just got to pop off. I think my team actually surrendered this one. In this game at least, what we learned in this laning phase against an assassin, if you want lane present, you can take Scorch, or you can take Aerie and Scorch. That's what they do. That's basically having lane presence, right? But more importantly, really pay attention to how the main wave is going. More so in these kind of matchups where you're against assassins. Mainly because if you screw it up, they can just hold a freeze, and if you have no flash, you will die. Like you will die. You will die. You might not get punished in low elo, but the higher you go, you will die. I guarantee it. You will die. Pay attention to your lane, and you will flourish by understanding how the wave works. So let's just move on. For this next game, we're up against Vladimir here. I think the Vladimir matchup for Viktor is not too bad. I'll keep it short because I think this is actually a pretty short game. So I'll just highlight most of what happened or what you should know in the laning phase to play against Vladimir. In this matchup, Vladimir basically has no mana or is resourceless. So he can really just stay in lane for as long as he wants to. Whereas Viktor has mana. So the way how Vladimir wants to play is that he wants to be constantly trying to, force me to use my abilities. And the way to do this is either trade with me or push in the lane to force me to use my abilities to either trade back or CS under turret, right? So that's what Vladimir wants to do. For me, my objective here is that I want to I can trade with him, but I have to pay attention to my mana bar and obviously not allow him to push for free. You can see here he already used his Q at the start, and that's why I'm walking up. I went back to get a scanner because I believe he actually has like is it zombie Poro wards or Poro wards? I can't remember, the one where you put down a ward and when it expires it Poro wards. Hence why I actually got a scanner back. That's why I put a ward early on. You can see like the only time I'm trading is I'm only trading whenever I know that his Q is off cooldown. And the way you notice is like that's the one bad thing about Vladimir is that it's kind of scripted. You can tell like, oh, his Q is off cooldown because his little secondary bar there is going up to the 0 point, the 50 point, and the 100 point. So it's kind of easy to tell whether he has no Q or not. And once he has no Q, you can see that I'm trying to position myself to aggressively trade. He tries to trade back, but he doesn't have the range. And we're just trying to slowly wither him down, even though he has a lot of heals. You can see that the wave is not really getting pushed into me. I'm trying to match him. I'm trying to have like equal CS, or letting him only have like +1 or +2, so I can manage the wave without it actually crashing into my turret. Whenever he has his empowered Q, walk backwards, don't walk in. Very obvious. Because if he actually empowered Qs you, he actually heals more than he would if he empowered Q a minion. Here, that's my bad. I accidentally let him Q me. It's fine, however, because we're not really losing too much health. We're still in a pretty good spot here. You can see that as my first strike is coming back up, I'm really trying to proc it just to get some value here. The other thing is also when mana flow ban is up, I really shouldn't be, again, like, I'm not really trying to burn my mana, but if my mana flow ban is up, or you know, it's stackable, you want to use it as soon as it comes up so you can get that that mana flow value, or that full mana flow value. God damn, I can't speak. You can see like every time he goes down, or like the moment it comes back up, I'm trading with him. My mana is a bit low here. It's going a bit low here. I'm not really using my E off cooldown. Here it's off cooldown, but I'm not really using it. For some reason, he's backing up, even though he knows Hecarim is bot side. He doesn't really need to be that afraid of me. I feel like he's playing a bit too passive here. That's fine by me though, because like I can freely just farm. Both of Viktor and Vladimir, I almost say Vladimir, wants to scale. So realistically, the goal here. Look, I played this. When I was playing this, I'm like, okay, this dude knows I have scanner. Why is he putting wards in lane still? Does he not think? Does he not like, oh hey, this guy is scanner, let me just put my ward somewhere else, right? The reason why it cucks him so much, or like it really like disrupts his flow so much, is because how Poro wards work is that you get 2 stacks per ward that you put down died, and another 2 stacks if that Poro ward spots someone. So every time I'm doing this, I'm denying him 4 stacks of Poro wards. Alright, anyways, the lane is pushing right now, and I have my Lost Chapter if I'm choosing the base here. I know that I'm hitting level 5 soon. You can see here I'm not really trying to base here, because I know that if I base here, I'll lose the whole wave. So I'm trying to sit here out of fog of war, out of vision, to see what the Vladimir is doing first, right? If the Vladimir, like most case, I'm just trying to stay in lane. But if the Vladimir fast pushes, I'll come back up and try to stop him from fast pushing. If he's slow pushing, then I'll just wait until he uses his ability, and then I'll come back out. You can see here that I'm trying to really hold a freeze, or I was trying to hold a freeze, but because I really wanted the base as well, I figured, oh, did I actually? No. I see him coming back. Now I remember. I want the base because I knew if I base now, the wave would freeze there. But because he came back, I knew that I could probably come back as well, because I believe my mana flow is just 1 stack off. I think I actually made a mistake coming up here, where I used my abilities a bit too soon before my mana flow ban was actually up. I believe it's around here. I actually missed my E, one of it actually. So I actually wasn't able to get the stack off, which didn't allow me to have mana regen. Had I actually been more patient, I would have been regenning mana right now. And that's why you should pay attention to your abilities more. But regardless, the wave is pushing right now, which is in a pretty good state. I believe the next wave is also coming, and I'm pretty sure my next move up here is probably going to up the whole wave, so I can instantly base here. I'm not really too afraid of where the jungler is. I have cleanse for him. I believe the jungler is... I think it's a Rammus. I'm pretty sure it's a Rammus. But yeah, I'm not too afraid of him. So there we go. We push in the lane. We get our mana flow. We have a pretty decent base. I think the better play for me right here was instantly to shove it in, or to time it as I have Lost Chapter, and actually get Lost Chapter as soon as I can with Futures Market. That way I have a better item and he can't really base. This is not too bad too. And you know, the fact that Vladimir is staying here is a really big mistake because he doesn't have TP. Really well played from my Fiora there. But you can see here, Vladimir is trying to hard shove a cannon wave. This is just not going to happen for him. And because he stayed, right now what's going to happen is I'm just going to hold freeze here. And there's nothing he can do here. I mean, he can stay. Again, like, Vladimir is a champion without mana. So he really can just stay here for as long as he wants. But because I saw him basing, I might have been able to stop his base if I walked up. I'm here again. I'm just scanning where his ward is. Maybe, like, he's dumb again. But again, back to the main point. I'm freezing this because it allows me to deny him some minions. You can see his minions are killing my minions. And I'm getting all of his minions for free. I think it's actually better that I didn't stop his base here. Because now he's just losing a lot of minions here. Again, like, because he doesn't have TP, he suffers a lot. Again, he puts... You had no idea. You guys have no idea how frustrated I am with this dude. Even though he's like, I should be happy. It's like, oh man, this guy is, he's feeding me go any XP, and he's actually destroying his own ability. Maybe he doesn't know how the rune works. I don't know. Like anyways, right. So the lane is still in a pretty good spot for me. I'm just holding it in front of my turret. It's a cannon wave here. I'm not really trying to shove this cannon wave. I could potentially have a slow push going on with this cannon wave. But because, again, it's a Rammus and it's a Vladimir, I don't really want to get killed by them. So I'm just trying to hold the freeze here. I could have actually walked up to try to land an E here. My first strike is up. And again, like, yeah, like, I'm just taking this free. It's I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, once I have my E upgrade, the lane is pretty straightforward. We're just trying to push as fast as we can. And then we're just looking for opportunities on the lanes. Vladimir currently, he can hold a freeze, but you know, then I'm just getting stuff done on the lane. He bought Lucidity boots, for I guess like for more sustain because his Q will be coming up really soon. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel like he probably might have been able to go for a more aggressive buy, such as a alternator because he has Ghost and Flash. But who knows? I don't play Vladimir. But anyways, I went bot. I didn't really see an opportunity for me to follow up that dive, so I went back mid. And right now the lane is actually pretty good for me. I'm at 10 CS per minute. With first strike, Vladimir is down 20 CS, and the reason why he's down 20 CS, right? Some of it is attributed to the fact that he's missing CS, but most of it is due to the fact that he based at a really bad time. And just from a bad time, or like a bad timing for base, a bad base timing, that basically just won me the lane. It's very little, but it's good enough that I can say, hey, you're screwed. Like, you're just mega screwed. I believe I'm actually like a level ahead of him as well. And it's only gonna get worse the fact that I have first strike, which basically just secures me the late game at this point in a mage versus mage matchup. So yeah, the lane is pretty screwed for Viktor or for Vlad. Why do I meant to say is it's pretty screwed for Vladimir, and it's going pretty well for me, and it's only gonna get better. You can see here I've already gotten a mythic at around 10 minutes, and I believe Vladimir is really far from his mythic. The fact that he got his boots first instead of his components for his mythic just puts him in a really bad spot for him. I think buying boots is not that bad, but I think cooldown boots as a mage is not that good, especially if you're not going to roam, and two, if you don't have the ability to push. Because how I see cooldown boots works is that you want to push with your faster cooldowns, and also roam better, right? But because he has none of that going for him, he doesn't really have a lot of value with his Lost Chapter or with his Lucidity boots purchase. You can see he's like trying to trade with me, but it's like, bro, like, I have a mythic. You don't have items. You're not winning the trades, right? You're healing, but like you're not healing fast enough more than I can do damage to you. So I'm not going to like waste more time here. Basically how this lane went is that I just slowly withered him down, my team. Most of my lanes are winning, and I believe we actually won the game like pretty fast here, pretty straightforward here. I think I played pretty good this game. Perfect CS, not a lot is going on. It's hard to say that I play well because my lanes are also playing well. But yeah, like the main things to take away from this game, at least in a VLADIMIR matchup, which I consider is a main, is one, don't base poorly from VLADIMIR's perspective. If you want to base, either base as your enemy is basing, when the wave is in the neutral part of the lane. That way, at least you don't gain a lot, but you also don't lose a lot. The other part is pay attention to what your enemy is doing, right? To generalize it, right? Let's say if I have scanner, right? This is not specific for all VLADIMIRs, but let's say I have scanner, right? You already see that I'm scanning. Right? Why would you put the ward back again, right? I guess for a more general tip in this matchup is that at least for Viktor against VLADIMIR, don't pay attention to your mana. Against champions that don't use mana, you really don't want to run out of mana too fast, which forces you to base too fast, and then you just start losing. Because again, like if you base too much, most of the time you're probably gonna have poor base timings, which makes you lose CS, which makes you lose EXP, and in turn makes you lose more and more that way. So those are the things that you can take away from this matchup. Again, there's not a lot of going on. Oh, I actually just realized that VLADIMIR went for a extreme cooldown build, which I think it's really bad. I think cooldown, it's okay for some champions, but I think like realistically I feel like if you can one tap the enemy instead of going through 2 rotations, why not? That's my philosophy when it comes to cooldown. But yeah, like the game actually just rendered here. So that's it for me for this video. I hope you guys are able to pick up something in the QIYANA and VLADIMIR matchup, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next video. Thank you.